Our project is a Python to Matlab cross-compiler. This is an example of a basic Python script. It takes the identity matrix and multiplies it by every other element of A. The identity is the size of A, so we should end up with a 6 by 6 identity matrix multiplied by 1 times 3 times 5, so 15. If we go ahead and run this script through the compiler, we see that that is in fact the output that we get. A identity matrix with 15 along the diagonals. What this compiler is doing is compiling this Python script into valid Matlab code. One of the limitations of Matlab is that you cannot mix functions and scripts in the same files. So what we have to do is break it up into two separate files, one of which will contain the script portion of this, and one of which will contain the function. And we can see that here. This is our compiled script, which actually is fairly readable and recognizable as those last two lines, and then here is the corresponding function. While a little bit less readable, it does take into account a lot of the things that Matlab, a lot of the differences between Python and Matlab. A little less trivial example is this eigenfaces. The idea of eigenfaces is, given a target face, find a face from this whole database of faces that's most similar to it. So if we go ahead and run that first, it'll take a minute. This is a more interesting one because it uses some of the built-in MATLAB functionality, such as principal component analysis. It also mixes Python and MATLAB ideas. So mean face is a vector, but we're using it in the context of a list comprehension. And here we can see the face on the left is the target face, and the face on the right is the one that matches most closely to it. Finally, one of the things we've done is make very nice error outputs. So we see in this file we have an error because clearly when you go to access A on the third line it won't be there, and the output is a very Python-like error traceback. We don't actually see the MATLAB output, and similarly it looks very similar to the output that we would get if we ran this script on Python itself. We see that we have the original lines here. These are not it's a little hard to tell on some of these, such as the function calls, but especially on the print, these are not MATLAB code lines. These are the ones from the original Python file with the correct lines. So that's our project. Thank you.